I've been told people don't like the intro video. It's too distracting, and I don't know. I like it, and I love Jim for making it for me, but apparently people don't like it. So we'll experiment and maybe try and get a different one. But thanks anyways, Jim, for making it for me. I love it. Anyways, it's a Tuesday. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning here at Site B. It's 63 degrees and no, it's 53 degrees and cloudy, but the computer says it's sunny. So apparently the computer is someplace else. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Blah, 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 blah. It's Tuesday. You know what we need on a gloomy, spooky, cold, blah Tuesday? We need some toys to cheer us up. Yeah. And we're going to start with Games Workshop toys. Why? Because the stuff is cool. I mean, it's just cool. I just like looking at it. I wish I was half this talented. They just announced they're doing a new video game for 2024. I believe it is called Skulls. Called Skulls 2024. The annual celebration of awesome Warhammer video games returns. So this is Warhammer Skulls. I guess they're doing a thing for all the different Warhammer video games that have been made over the years. There are actually a few. Like Talisman. Have you ever played Talisman? I love Talisman. So I guess this is just sort of I don't know why they're calling it Skulls, but I guess it's just sort of an overview. It's a showcase of video games. It's now in its 8th year. And so it's just them showcasing their video games. Okay. Much like the Black Library, there's way more than you think. You know, most people are like, yeah, there's a Warhammer video game. But actually, there's a lot of Warhammer video games. Just like the Black Library. And how many books are in the Black Library? I assume that they're just bigger over in other parts of the world than they are here in California. Both the Black Library and the video games. So maybe I don't see a lot of these. And some of the people I know don't see a lot of these. I'm going to guess that there are people who are aware that there's many of these that exist. Where, this thing is just bigger. So they do a thing every year, I guess, where they just talk about their own games. It's a little self-congratulatory, but hey, it looks like they're having another great year despite the controversy regarding the Adeptus. So yeah, if they want to, toot their own horn, let them. Now back to the actual stuff that we care about, toys. Looks like Blood Bowl's about to undergo another paramutation, much like the rest of the Games Workshop stuff. Every few years, you got to release a new edition, right? So they are doing a Q&A regarding the various factions in Blood Bowl and hinting at some of the changes that might be coming at Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl was always the, game, like people knew the Games Workshop made it, and some of the figures were cool, but I think I've only ever seen people play Blood Bowl live once. I'm going to guess it's probably bigger at cons than it is, say, at a game store, but I don't know. Again, like most Warhammer stuff, there are obviously parts of the world where Warhammer is bigger than where I am. So while my personal experience with Warhammer is limited, other people's personal experience with Warhammer, I assume, is far larger than mine. So while I've never seen, that many Blood Bowl games, it's not to say people aren't playing it. All right, now we get back to Age of Sigmar, or New Age of Sigmar. This is a new hero for the Storm-class Eternals. His name is Lord Vigilant. Yeah, that's probably a title. I don't know if that's his name. Oh, it's this dude. It's our Paladin dude. We saw him last week, though I don't think this is the same one we saw last week. It's the same figure. I don't think it's the same painting, though. Because the hammer axe is bent in this one a little, and I don't recall the last one being bent, and also the face looks a little different, or maybe it's just a bad photograph. I don't know. I mean, it's still cool. It's got this, paladin whatever dude riding a hippogriff, and he's got this, flamey axe hammer of doom and this ridiculous thing on the back of his neck. Yeah, he's awesome. So I guess he has a name now. His name is Lord Vigilant. Probably a title, not probably his name. His name's probably like, Irwin or something, but his title is Lord Vigilant. And then we have all the information on Lord Vigilant and then some more information on the 2 sides so far. So right now we still only have 2 sides for Age of Sigmar. Though I thought we saw 3, but okay. The Skaven, yeah, I like those guys. And the Undead Paladin dudes, which is a great idea. You know, I love the idea of the Stormcast. It's really something that's never been explored a lot in role-playing that I'm aware of. And I feel like it should be, you know, and old, back in the old days of role-playing, if you got brought back from the dead a certain amount of times, there would be a limit. Because every time you got brought back, you lost a point of constitution. So you could only be brought back as many times as you had points of con. And if your con ever, you know, got to 0, you couldn't be brought back anymore. And these, the Stormcast question, okay, so what does, you know, Ship of Theseus, how many times do I bring Erwin back from the dead before he stops being Erwin and becomes something else? And that's his name now, Erwin. It's officially his name. We've got some new stuff for Necromundo. I feel like Necromundo doesn't get enough love of all their product run. And it looks like we just have some terrain, some guns, and some rules for the guns. So these are like automatic turrets and stuff. Or little bots, maybe. I don't know. You know, skitter about and shoot people. I don't love them. There's nothing really exciting about them. I mean, they're still cool. I can't make them, so, but, you know. You have anything else coming up for new Age of Sigmar? Because it seems to be all that's going on this week for them. We've got some pre-orders coming up for next week. If you're interested in checking out what's going to come up next week, we've got a new kill team coming out called the Termination. And it comes with these 2 cool little bunker drop ships. We've got one that looks like space dwarves and one that looks like space necromancers, maybe. And for some reason, this guy has 3 hands. Right here. I don't know if you can see. He has 3 hands. Nobody else has 3 hands, so I guess he's special. And some Black Library books based upon these settings. And it looks like a slow week. It doesn't look like a lot. Yeah, pre-orders, Black Library, more figures of paladins and anti-paladins for Age of Sigmar. Some elves. And whatever this is. More Black Library. This barbarian dude. We already saw this barbarian dude. I don't think so. I don't know why they're saying he's new. Maybe he just hasn't been released yet. This, I don't know what this is. Minotaur, Troll, Skaven thing. We saw him before too. He's pretty cool. We've got some barbarians. We've got some barbarians on horses. We've got this weird thing. We saw all these. These are not new, guys. Why are you listing them as new stuff that's coming out? You've already shown these. Could this be a mistake on the webpage? I mean, probably. Let's see. Some information on Age of Sigmar. This looks like a story. So if you're interested in some lore for Age of Sigmar, we've got the Undead for Age of Sigmar. So we are getting some more units besides the Skaven and the Storm dudes. I guess the Storm dudes and the Skaven are just the first. I think this is Undead, but I can't tell because they are. No, yeah, it's definitely Undead. There are the classic Warhammer, we don't have legs Undead. Cool idea. I don't know how feasible it is making the figures so, you know, just how much weight and wear and tear can the cloak take? Because the idea is, you know, that they're incorporeal, so they don't really have bodies. So all you see is the tatters and stuff like that. And then you make the actual base out of the cloak. And then we can't see it here, but this part is attached to the actual base. And while it's cool in practice, considering the wear and tear figures go through, even in transport alone, how feasible is this? How often do these break? I have a feeling they've got to snap a lot. I don't care how strong that metal or plastic is, especially if it's plastic. You know, it's snapping off. Here's some sheets A Mortarch of Grief. That's a great name. They definitely do kick ass on the weird names for their bad guys and good guys and stuff. Two-legged horse. Who's beeping me? It's just fonts.com telling me my order's coming. Yeah, so it looks like some type of undead spirit army we're getting for Sigmar. Fortunately, the pictures aren't that great. They look kind of cool, but I can't really tell. And there's another one of the guy character standing on the cloak, which again, in theory is cool. In practice, I don't know. I don't know how feasible that is in real life. Anything else coming on? Got some painting. And yeah, that looks like it for this week. A very slow week for Games of Workshop. With con season starting and everything, I would expect a little bit more, but maybe they're holding back for the beginning of actual con season. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. I'm assuming we're going to start seeing some of the entries for Golden Demon soon and some of the big stuff that they have planned for 2024 because, June, we've got Origins. July, we've got San Diego Comic-Con. August, we've got Gen Con, plus all the big European cons, plus the conventions that are specifically Warhammer-centric. So, and since it does seem that they are pushing Age of Sigmar, I am expecting that we will see some more Age of Sigmar stuff coming soon. I don't know what happened with the old world. Again, I've mentioned this a couple times, not that I'm complaining, but the big thing at the beginning of the year from them was that they were going to be pushing more fantasy this year, figure-wise, and focusing on the old world. But other than the couple of ones we saw at the beginning of the years, it seems now they're focusing on Age of Sigmar. Not sure why the direction changed or if they plan on cycling back to old world. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're still great-looking fantasy figures that you could use for any fantasy game, which is the whole point why I do this. It's not just to go, oh, I like Warhammer, because I do, but it's also to go, oh, look, here's some cool figures that you could use for anything. Anyways, that's it for today. Take care of yourselves and stay safe.
Yo, check. Yeah, we're not the type to play games. You can stay clay